Hey everyone, welcome back to another session of Evony with Genghis on server 68. The other day we looked at ground generals, how to gear them up. So we're going to look at the mounted generals now. So here is mine, and he's almost done. I just need to get him a final ring. This is Barbarossa, so this is all the gear you will want, and we will compare it in the general list and go over that. So this is not the ring you want. This is a dragon ring, and as you can see, I refined it back in the early days. Didn't know any better, so wasted refined stones. Should have waited till it was the upgraded ring, so I get the 25% cap and not the 20% cap that Dragon's Ring provides. So first thing with mounted generals is skill books. Now this, I really can't advise you too much and give you perfect information because it all depends what books you can put on the general. So mine, Barbarossa, he can accept a mounted troop attack book. Not all can. So I have a mounted troop attack, a monster troop attack, and a luck book. So he's my main boss hunting general. Now, if you look at other mounted generals I have, they're done up differently. So normally when I'm doing battlefield, I will switch all my gear over to Martinez, and he has mounted troop speed, mounted troop HP, and march size. Because of his basic skill here, I cannot add mounted troop attack to him. If I could, I would add it. See, I'll try and add it right now, and you'll see General already has a higher skill level, so I cannot add a mounted troop attack. And then I have another one down here, Athelflaed, and she has a 55% mounted troop attack against bosses, and the max book is 45, so it's better than that, so I cannot add that book. So let's see if I even have it in here just to show you guys. Mounted troop attack against monster, 45%, and I cannot add it because she has a higher one. Otherwise, I would add that. So now when you look at her, she would be attacking bosses for me, so I gave her 25% more attack, luck, and mounted troop HP against bosses, 45%, where if you look at the regular mounted troop HP, it's only 25% right there in the middle. Just circle it here for you so you can see. It's only 25%, so it is less. So the books I really can't advise you on. All I could say is mounted troop attack is the most important, but not all generals can use it. And then after that, if he can't use attack, use the mounted troop speed because that buffs attack as well. It gets him into the battle earlier. Generally, it will take 7 rounds of battle for your horse to enter the battle, and mounted troop speed will get them into the battle in round 6, so 1 round earlier. Now, when it comes to gear, we'll look at my Barbarossa, and obviously you're going to go with the spear. I'm not happy with the refines I have here. It's very frustrating because those 2 whole numbers are almost perfect. But so if you look at that and you go to roll the dice, you see it's out of 1096, 1096, and they're almost perfect. So I just kept them, but down the road, I'm going to have to change them to percentages. And then I got a 20%, and I'm not happy with that either because I'm going to have to redo all of them when I eventually decide to redo them. Because if this is going to be for PvP, I'm going to want percentages. But if you look at the spear in itself, it brings you mounted troop attack, mount HP if you're marching, mount defense if you're marching, and speed. And then if you go look at the other option for a spear, you would go here, you would go to the Achaemenidae, and this is, see, it has some debuffs. It doesn't have all the same attack buffs on there. So that's an easy choice. And I don't need to go through all of them, but that's how you should compare. You should look at the top Achaemenidae weapon or helmet or pants or whatever you're looking at, and then compare it to the top Heirs gear for that body part, and then compare. So the Courageous Heirs armor, this is an easy choice again. It has 3 mounted buffs. The boots have two mounted buffs and a march speed. And the Fearless Air's leg armor has an attack buff and a defense buff. So it has two. And don't mind my refines here. This was another mistake where I refined on Dragon's gear. So that 19.2 used to be good, but now if you look, so if I was to do one refine here, which I will not waste refine stones, it would jump up to 25%. And you can see here when I go over that, you can see these are out of 25%. So that's why you want to wait to refine until you get the proper gear. And now Achaemenid, the helmet, this has an attack buff for mounted troop, and that's it. And then if we go and look at what you can actually go with for helmets on the heirs option, there's no mount here. And then you go over to courageous, and there is a mounted HP and another mounted HP, but you're going to want to go with the fearless here like I did. And the reason for that is there's two reasons actually. So the first one is attack is better than HP, even though HP is important for horses. But when I get that extra ring on him, I will get this buff, and that will give me another 10% attack. So I'll get that. So that's what you're really playing for. That's why people mix up the gears, because they want to get the first buff in the set piece for all of them. And then when it comes down to the ring, we can look at crafting rings and see which one you're going to go with. And here you're not going to go with the fearless because there's no mounted buffs. And this one has a mounted troop defense buff, and then you would get the set piece buff as well. And then if you look at the options on the heirs rings to upgrade them, this one has a mounted defense, so it's equal, and this one has nothing. So you're going to want to go with the other ring because these two are the same, the heirs and the Achaemenid, and one of them gives you the set piece buff. So now if we go to our general rankings to see, so this is one of the best mounted generals you will see in all of Evony on Dirk or Mamba here, and he has the exact same books as I have. I just copied him. That's what you should do. Just copy the best player. It's the way to go. And then he has Ayer's spear, and you can see it's very nicely refined. He has the courageous armor. Again, just amazing refines. I'm sure on the boots here he'd love to correct that 19%, but he can solo everything on the map except for B15 Phoenixes with minimal losses. So other than that, I don't think it's a priority for him right now to fix that one buff. And then the ring, this is the ring that I said that I will be getting. But those ring scrolls are very hard to get. And then he has the same pants as me, the Fearless, and he has the Courageous helmet of Achaemenid to get that mounted attack. And you can see he has the set piece buff because he has two pieces of the Achaemenid. And then if you go over to the heirs buffs, you get attack against bosses, monsters, and attack again, overall attack. So just to look at, we'll look at a couple other mounted bosses here just to make sure that we are on the right path here. There should be another one up here. Am I missing one? Okay, so 13 here. He has the exact same gear as well. And you can see it all here. And just looking at his refines, and they're very nice. He's a knowledgeable player. He knows what he's doing. And Minimag, also an excellent player. And you could see, so he actually has, he's using his for monster attacks as well, and he added some there. But he actually has different boots, but the boots really, it doesn't matter too much. Well, actually, I take that back. He's missing out on that 4-piece buff. So Not sure if he debates ever changing that or not. But again, mounted boss. All these guys have excellent refines already, excellent troop setups, and they probably just have higher priorities right now that they would rather work on. So I'll try and find one other person here who has top general. So let's see what else we could find here. If there's one other, I wanted to look at my man Goku here. He has a general up here. I only saw his Alfred, but okay, so here is War, and he has Hannibal, and so he actually only has one Achaemenid, and he has 5 heirs. So one thing with this, I'm going to do a feature on this in the future. When you're looking at veteran players' generals, there are some other factors you have to look for when you're copying them. So they've been around 5 years and they've invested a lot into certain gear, and then the game changed and then they got to redo things. So it's just something they'll get to down the line, I'm sure. But I'm going to point that out in a future video because it's important to always double check when you're looking at generals, because you will get different looks, but go with the consensus and see what the top people on your server are doing. So this is mounted generals, gearing them up. Genghis on server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.